Hi guys, it looks like the Fool of the Week segment is going to have to change because there's been a massive influx in stupid. So a lady called Sandra phoned the Ben Kentish show to give her advice to young people when it came to looking for a job. And have a listen to this advice.
Just as a little bit of advice, though my daughter came out of varsity, also struggled a bit. And what I said to her was, phone up companies you think you could work for and offer to do voluntary work for them. For work experience, do that. And she did. And a couple of months later, she actually got a job with that same company. So there are things, offer your services for nothing. Have they just been brought up in an environment, sadly, where they aren't sort of pushed, encouraged, maybe given that shove, told what to do?
Well, they're mollycoddled.
And is there some way can we help them?
You think they're mollycoddled? So when they're thrust into the tough world of work, they can't cope.
They can't cope. It's all about.
It's a bit bleak to say to young people. I mean, mate, I'm not saying you're wrong, Sandra. They might have to.
Yeah.
But the idea that you should go to university, rack up 30 grand a debt, and then have to work for free for a period just to finally get it, it's not really fair. But then maybe the world isn't fair right now for young people.
Okay, so this is the advice Sandra is giving. Young people should approach companies and say, I'm going to work for free, with the hope that the company will eventually give you a job. Now, this is not the same as an apprenticeship, because an apprenticeship, generally, at the end of the apprenticeship, you have built up skills and the company will offer you that job. But Sandra is suggesting something else, that you just apply to a company and say, I will work for free. Now, there are a number of problems with this, as you can imagine. First of all, many people can't work for free. They have bills to pay. They have to feed themselves or their family. So they can't work for free. They can't say to a company, I will work for nothing. So that's not possible. Unless we're talking about people who have very rich parents and the parents are saying, don't worry, we will cover the cost of our children working for free. So that's a possibility, but not many people are living in that situation. Very few people are living in that situation. Who has rich parents who are willing to cover the cost of living and allow their children just to do a job for free? Now, we don't know how long this period would be. How long? Is it 6 months? Is it a month? Is it a year? And what's to stop the company from saying, actually, we don't need you anymore. We're going to take on somebody else for free. Because we're probably talking about positions at the lower end of the scale within the company, not middle management positions or senior positions, of course. So we're talking about lower level employment. That's where you'd be taken on for free. Now, there's another problem, obviously, as it's blatantly obvious. If you're working for free and somebody else has to pay their bills and somebody else has to feed their family, how are they to compete with you? How is two people go for a job. One of them is saying, look, I need this job because I need to pay my bills. I need to feed my family. I need to live. And another person is saying, I will work for free because my parents will cover the cost. If the position is low level and the skills are not all that important, or the level of the candidates is the same, the company, who are they going to choose? Of course, they're going to choose the person who will work for free. And what would that do for wages? Generally, because if you're talking about one or two people doing this, it's not really that big of a problem when it comes to wages on the grand scale. But if more and more young people are doing this, then this is going to drive down wages. This is going to make life more difficult for the poorest in society, the ones who actually need the money, the ones who don't have rich parents who will cover their costs. This is insane. Once again, this is not like an apprenticeship where you're expected to be offered the position at the end because you've built up the skills. I'm not saying it always happens. There are loopholes, of course, but generally the idea of training up so you can do the job, this would throw that all out the window because companies could just replace people constantly, those who are willing to work for free. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.